What if I told you that the most terrifying predators in Earth's history didn't just exist? They ruled with absolute dominance right here in Africa. Not lions, not hyenas, not even modern crocodiles. No, I'm talking about creatures so massive, so uniquely lethal, that even our imagination struggles to contain them. Long before humans carved the first stone tool, long before the first footprint was left in the savanna dust, there was a time when Africa wasn't just a continent, it was a kingdom of monsters. Here in this prehistoric crucible, nature went wild. It forged giants with weapons built into their bodies. It gave them size, stealth, speed, and a hunger that echoed through time. Imagine standing on the banks of a primeval river. The ground trembles, something massive moves beneath the water, and then a flash of teeth. Not from a crocodile, but from a 40-foot Super Croc with jaws as long as your body. Now look up. Something's moving in the trees. Not a leopard, but a saber-toothed cat, watching in perfect silence. This isn't a fantasy. This was real. This was prehistoric Africa. And today we're delving deep into this forgotten world where monsters weren't myths, they were neighbors. Welcome to Prehistoric Africa, land of giants. Let's begin by traveling back, way back across the timeline of life on Earth, to an Africa that looked nothing like it does today. Not a single city stood. There were no deserts stretching endlessly, no savannas dotted with acacia trees. Instead, there were dense tropical forests, vast floodplains, and river systems that twisted like veins across the land. This was an Africa in flux, shifting through epochs and ages, Cretaceous, Miocene, Pleistocene, and with every change came new life, larger life, stranger life. It's important to understand that not all the prehistoric predators we'll encounter in this journey lived at the same time. They reigned during different chapters of Earth's long and violent history, some 100 million years ago during the age of dinosaurs, others just a few million years before the rise of humankind. Yet they are bound by something deeper than time, the place they called home and the brutal competition they faced to survive. Africa's ancient ecosystems were unparalleled in their diversity. The continent's geological shifts, volcanic activity and climatic swings fostered rapid evolution and adaptation. In some epochs, lush rainforests blanketed the land, creating ideal breeding grounds for enormous reptiles. In others, drying climates gave rise to open grasslands where fast, ferocious mammals hunted in the golden light of dawn. This ever-changing environment was not only beautiful, it was unforgiving. Only the strongest, smartest, or most adaptable could rise to the top. And it was here, over millions of years, that Africa produced some of the most formidable apex predators the world has ever known. In this land, survival wasn't about cleverness. It wasn't about tools or language. It was about size. Strength, speed, teeth, claws. In prehistoric Africa, only the deadliest made it through the night, and nature, in all her ferocity, ensured that every creature had to earn its place or die trying. Meet the apex predators. So what exactly makes an apex predator? It's more than just being big or having sharp teeth. An apex predator is an organism that sits at the very top of its food chain, untouched by any other natural predators. These are the kings and queens of their domain. They don't hunt to survive, they hunt to rule. In prehistoric Africa, apex predators weren't just dangerous, they were refined killing machines, the result of millions of years of evolution. Their senses were finely tuned, their bodies were weapons, and their strategies were as varied as the ecosystems they dominated. Some hunted alone, relying on ambush and overwhelming strength. Others moved in packs or pairs, using tactics that modern-day predators would envy. Many were perfectly adapted to their environment, camouflaged in thick foliage, equipped for speed in open plains, or armored for survival in flooded swamps. There were those who ruled the rivers, with jaws that could crush bone in an instant. Others haunted the forests like shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Some preferred stealth, others thrived in chaos, But all of them were predators of the highest order. And in Africa's harsh and competitive landscape, being a predator was never enough. You had to be the best, because failure meant becoming someone else's meal. Natural selection was relentless. Those that adapted endured. Those that didn't were erased from the fossil record. These apex predators played a crucial role in shaping their world. They controlled herbivore populations, they influenced migrations, they forced other predators to adapt and evolve in response. Their very presence sculpted the balance of prehistoric ecosystems. So who were these giants, these rulers of the ancient African wilds? To truly understand them, we need to meet them face to face. From the towering sail-backed Spinosaurus to the terrifying saber-toothed cats of the Miocene, from aquatic terrors to thunderous land hunters, these are the names history tried to forget, but today we remember them. Let's step into the shadows of deep time and meet the monsters that once reigned supreme. Africa's deadliest lineup. Welcome to the pantheon of prehistoric predators, creatures that would make even modern apex animals look like prey. Let's begin with perhaps the most unique of them all, Spinosaurus aegyptiacus. Longer than Tyrannosaurus rex, this dinosaur wasn't just a land predator, it was semi-aquatic, built for hunting in rivers and swamps, with a sail-like spine stretching from its back and a crocodile-like snout filled with conical teeth. It's one of the few dinosaurs thought to be a specialist fish hunter. But don't be fooled, Spinosaurus could hold its own on land too. Then came Carcharodontosaurus saharicus. Named for its shark-toothed appearance, this beast rivaled the T-Rex in both size and bite power. Living in what is now northern Africa, it was a top predator of its time, hunting sauropods and other large prey in the lush floodplains of the mid-Cretaceous. Another swift killer of the era was Deltadromeus agilis. The name means agile delta runner, and it fits. This predator wasn't the biggest, but it was built for speed, likely using ambush and pack-like tactics to bring down prey quickly before larger carnivores moved in. And don't forget Barhariosaurus, a massive theropod that lived alongside Spinosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus, possibly competing with them in the same habitats. Its exact classification is debated, but its size and jaw structure tell us it was a force to be reckoned with. But predators weren't just land-bound. Sarcosuchus imperata, aptly nicknamed the Super Croc, was an ancient relative of modern crocodiles that grew over 30 feet long. Its skull alone was nearly 6 feet in length, and it likely preyed on dinosaurs that wandered too close to the water's edge. Imagine that, a creature lying motionless in the shallows, waiting until an explosion of teeth and muscle ended the story. From the rivers to the lakes, we also find Onchopristis numidus, a sawfish-like creature with a long-bladed snout lined with vicious teeth. Though not a predator of land animals, its presence in Africa's prehistoric waterways made every crossing a deadly gamble. Fast forward in time to the era of mammals, and Africa still didn't disappoint. Meet Dinofelis and Meganterion, two saber-toothed cats from the Pliocene and Pleistocene. Stockier and more ambush-oriented than today's big cats, they likely preyed on early hominids and large herbivores. With stabbing canine teeth and a crushing bite, they brought terror to the forests. And finally, Chasmoportits nitidula, Africa's ancient running hyena. Unlike modern scavenging hyenas, this one was built for speed and hunting. It filled a niche closer to wolves than bone crushers and could chase down prey in open terrain. Oh, and did we mention Gigantophis gastini, a snake over 30 feet long that slithered through African wetlands? Imagine an anaconda, but heavier, longer, and far more terrifying. These were the deadliest hunters in the history of Africa, not all from the same age, but each an undisputed ruler of its own time and terrain. The rise and fall of giants. Even the most powerful predators cannot escape the pull of extinction. For all their size, strength, and dominance, the giants of prehistoric Africa were not immune to the changing tides of Earth's history. Climate patterns shifted, habitats vanished, and the rules of survival were rewritten. As continents drifted and sea levels rose and fell, ancient ecosystems fragmented. The rich wetlands that had once supported colossal predators dried up or were swallowed by tectonic uplift. Prey animals either disappeared or evolved, and in their absence the predators starved or fell in battle. Competition grew fiercer. New species arrived, some from far-off lands, altering the food web forever. The rise of mammals, particularly early hominids, introduced a new kind of pressure, one not just physical, but environmental and eventually cultural. The fossil record bears witness to this unraveling. Creatures once seemingly invincible vanished one by one, but their bones, their teeth, their legacy, these remain buried in the earth, whispering stories of what once was. And in studying them, we learn not just about their lives, but about our own. Because their world, their extinction, reminds us how fragile dominance truly is, and how quickly nature reshapes the throne. Legacy of the giants. Though their bones are buried deep and their roars silenced by time, the giants of prehistoric Africa still speak to us. Their legacy isn't just etched into the fossil record, it's woven into the very fabric of modern ecosystems and cultures. These ancient predators shaped the landscapes we know today, influencing the evolutionary paths of countless species that followed. From the stealth of modern leopards to the social intelligence of hyenas, echoes of the past live on. Many traits seen in today's animals were forged in the fires of prehistoric competition, sharpened by the giants who once dominated these lands. The rise of mammals, including primates and eventually humans, wasn't in spite of these giants, but because of them. They challenged species to adapt, to outwit, to survive. Their memory lives in us too, in our myths, our fears, our fascination with monsters and titans. The Super Croc, the saber-toothed, the towering Spinosaurus. They are the shadows behind the stories, the foundation of every jungle legend and ancient fear. And perhaps that's the greatest legacy of all. Not just the bones, not just the science, but the wonder, the awe, the sheer disbelief that such creatures once walked the same ground we do. So if this glimpse into their world stirred something in you, don't let it fade. Explore more, learn more, keep digging, because the story of prehistoric Africa is far from finished. In its dust, there are still giants waiting to be found.